Hi everyone, Sam Brabham here and welcome back to Lawbeck Luxury Cars Friday Drive. Now today, we're going to be driving this Fiat 500 Abarth. Now it's not just any Fiat 500 Abarth. This is the 695 Ferrari Tributo. Now I said to Shreko after the F8 video, I said look, I really want to drive another Ferrari, so he's given me this and I really can't wait to drive it. So as you can see, the livery, this is based off the Scuderia Ferrari. Now, this car only came in two colors, the yellow and the red, and it actually globally only came in the colors that the Scuderia came in. That's why it's so specific. You can see the Abarth Scorpion here and this iconic Ferrari red. As we walk around the car, you can start to see even the Scorpion here on the wheel and then the carbon detailing all around the car. And this logo here is just so iconic. It's pretty cool to see something like that on a little Fiat 500 with the sports seats and everything else that we're going to go into a bit later. Stripes across the top. It is such a pretty little car. They're so much fun. You can see the Tributo Ferrari there. Now, it's got the Ferrari logo here on the other side and on the back here as well. Now, you cannot use the Ferrari logo or the fronting horse without official confirmation from Ferrari. So this is not just a, oh, we'll try and make it a Ferrari. This is a genuine Ferrari, and that's the way that they've made it. And actually at the bottom there, you can see you've got the two twin exhausts at the back, and I can't wait to hear what this thing's gonna be like while I'm driving around on the roads. Let's do it. So to start off with for our driving experience here, the car's got about 230 kilowatts. Now, in a car that only weighs about a ton, the power to weight ratio on this thing is pretty impressive. And I just put my foot down out of the dealership to feel what it was like, and the exhausts opened up. I just had a smile on my face because it was so much fun. How we select our gears here, the neutral, the reverse, first gear, and obviously automatic and manual. This reminds me almost of an actual Ferrari. I mean, we are in a Ferrari, but it's a Fiat at the same time. I was in a Pista Pilotti not long ago, and it felt very, very similar in how I engage drive, how I engage first gear. And I think that's really important, because if you're going to have something based off a Ferrari, well, you might as well have it done properly, right? It sounds pretty good, doesn't it? One thing I'm loving about this thing is how direct the steering is. As I'm driving through some of the corners, even on the road, if I was just to feel what the car's like, it's super, super direct. It just point and shoot exactly where I want it to go. And not every Fiat 500 is like that. The upgraded suspension, different brakes, all those things make a massive difference in this driving experience, and it makes it so much more fun than it would have been if it wasn't a Ferrari. Ferrari, mate. Just so you know. I think it's time that we try manual mode. So I'll press our little button here, straight into manual. So first gear, we'll set a set of lights. That's so much fun. You can hear the wheels spinning a little bit because of the power to weight ratio. It just makes this thing feel fast. You know, there's not much weight holding those down. As I down change there, you can start to hear the exhaust tones coming in. So a couple of little things for me that maybe bugbears of mine. The seat, I would probably prefer it to go a little bit lower, in just personal preference. But you know, you've got the race bucket seat, so that kind of changes the element. You know, you get into a race car, you can't change the height of the seat. That's not how it works. So it kind of makes sense, but just everyday driving, I'd prefer that. The other thing is the wheel. I can't, as I try and find it, it only goes up and down. It doesn't come towards me. And just my personal preference, my body shape, I like the wheel to be quite close to me. You would have seen with the Ferrari and the F8, had the wheel quite close. That's just personal preference, but I don't want it to be too far away either, because I feel like I then have to lean a little bit towards the wheel, and that sort of changes my posture a little bit. If you're long-legged and short arms, well, you're going to lean back, but you might not be able to reach the wheel just as well as you might like to. Before I hopped in the car to leave the dealership this morning, Shreko came up to me and he said, look, I've got one of these myself, and he absolutely loves this thing. He said he'd almost rather take it on a country drive than some of the supercars he's got, because the feeling of driving it's so direct and it's so sharp and it's pointy and it's everything you kind of want from a little sporty hot hatch. I can imagine driving around a nice country road and feeling the directness of the steering wheel, feeling the directness and the sharpness of the brakes and the throttle, feeling that turbo kick in and really accelerate out of a corner. I can imagine why it would be so much fun, particularly in those conditions, and even just rolling around the streets, around the city today. It just feels right. And that's it for this week's Friday drive in our little Fiat 500 Ferrari Tributo. I've had so much fun driving this car, and I can see why, particularly on some country roads, how much fun this thing could be. So please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, first on Instagram, and of course, we'll see you next time.